Liv Morgan says she's always watching, but somehow Dominik Mysterio keeps losing. And at this point, that's not a mistake anymore. That's intentional. And once you look at what's happened over the last 3 weeks, it starts to make a lot more sense than people want to admit. Liv keeps telling us the same thing. She says she's always watching. She says everything is a part of her plan. She even said getting rid of Finn Bálor was something she had planned all along. But if that's true, then why does everything around Dominik keep going wrong? And the crazy part is, people keep defending it, saying it's all a part of the plan. But if you actually look at this week to week, that explanation falls apart fast. Let's actually break this down. Week 1, Dominik Mysterio loses the Intercontinental Championship to Penta, and when that moment happens, Liv isn't there to help him. Week 2, Finn attacks Dom, and McDonagh steps up to defend him. But once again, Liv does nothing to stop it. And now this week, Dom loses his rematch opportunity, and it's McDonagh stepping up arguing with Adam Pearce, not Liv, JD. The same JD who actually followed through when it came to taking Finn out. And mistakes happen, sure, but mistakes don't happen 3 weeks in a row. At some point, it stops being a mistake. So now we've got a serious problem with Liv's story. Because you can't say you're always watching and then miss something this big. 3 weeks in a row. That's not awareness. That's not control. That's a choice. Because if Liv really is always watching, then she knew what Finn was going to do. Which means she made a decision not to stop it. Which means she deliberately cost Dom his title. To remove Finn from the Judgment Day. She deliberately cost her own boyfriend his title. And the more you watch this play out, the more it feels like Liv isn't actually in control of Judgment Day. Because when it mattered the most, it wasn't Liv making the moves. It was JD stepping up. It was Dom dealing with the consequences. And Liv? Liv showed up after everything happened and took credit for it. And that's the part no one really talks about. It's easy to take credit after the fact. It's a lot harder to actually prevent the problem in the first place. And this is where things get really interesting. Because Judgment Day has always had one consistent issue. People trying to position themselves as the leader. But look at what's actually happening. Dom doesn't need to say he's the leader. People move around him. JD proved his loyalty by backing Dom publicly. And right now, JD looks more loyal to Dom than Liv does, which completely flips what Judgment Day is supposed to be. But Liv is trying to control the narrative without actually controlling what's happening. So now we have to ask the real question. Is Liv actually in control, or is she letting things play out so she can take the credit afterward? Because either Liv is losing control, or she never had it to begin with. Because if she really knew what Finn was going to do, then she watched Dom lose and didn't stop it. And if that's the case, that isn't bad luck. That isn't a mistake. That's intentional. And right now, it doesn't look like Liv is running the Judgment Day. It looks like she's trying to keep up with it.